In this video, I'm going to talk about surface area of pyramids and cones dealing with word problems. In my previous video, I just did basics like applying the formula, and now we're going to see how can we apply it to the real world and what kind of other questions you might see. The roof of the house down the road is the shape of a square pyramid. The length from the gutter to the top is 15 feet, and the length of gutter on one side is 18 feet with no overlap. One bundle of shingles covers 25 square feet. How many bundles should you buy to cover the roof? Now, I know when you say a word problem, you just want to run away from it, but you shouldn't. It's not hard. You just have to break it down. So when you read it once, if you need to read it again, read it again. And when you read it again the second time, highlight or underline any important information you need for this problem. So we want to know how many bundles we'll need to cover the roof. So I need to know information about this roof. So when I scan through it again, what's important is the shape of the roof. It's a square pyramid. I need to know that so I know what formula to apply with it. When you see numbers, that helps you also. So the length of the gutter to the top is 15 feet. And then it says the length of the gutter on one side is 18 feet. And lastly, they say one bundle of shingles covers 25 square feet. We want to know how many bundles, which we're trying to find. How many bundles should you buy to cover the roof? That's what we're looking for. So in order for me to figure out how many bundles I need to cover the roof, I need to know what is my surface area of the roof. Okay? Now before we go ahead and write the formula out for surface area, let's label, since we have a picture, why not label what we have already? So what is 15 feet here? The length of the gutter to the top is 15 feet. So the length of the gutter to the top is 15 feet. So this right here is 15 feet. The gutter to the top. Next, one side is 18 feet of the gutter. So remember, this is the gutter. So one side of it is 18 feet. So I'm going to label this as 18 feet. So that means that side you could also label as 18 feet. Why do I know it could be 18 feet? It's a square pyramid. So it doesn't matter if you put this as 18 feet or that side as 18 feet. They're both going to be because it's a square. That's why it was important to know the base of it. Alright, so let's do our surface area. The formula for surface area is the lateral area, means the area not including the base, which is half times your slant height times the perimeter of the base plus the area of the base. Now, when it comes to word problems, always ask yourself, am I using the whole formula for the surface area, or do I just need a part? Because sometimes you might not need the whole thing. Well, if I'm just trying to find the shingles to put on the roof, I'm trying to cover the roof. I don't need the base and the bottom of it. I need the top part. So I do not need the area of the base for this formula. So all I need is the lateral. This is what you need. Only need that formula. Well, that part of the formula. So now let's go ahead and plug it in. So we have surface area equals half of my slant height. So my slant height was 15. And we need the perimeter. Now, because it was a square pyramid, that's what it told me. That means this was 18, that's 18, the base, right? So my perimeter, because the square pyramid, instead of doing 18 plus 18, like adding it repeatedly 4 times, I'm just going to multiply it. And that the perimeter of the base will give me 72. So that's what P will equal to, 72. So I have my slant height times 72. So multiply, and you're dividing by 2. So you get 540 feet squared. So that is the surface area of the roof. You might be like, okay, I'm done. Whenever you finish a problem, look back at the question. Did you answer the question? How many bundles should you buy to cover the roof? I did not answer the question. So that's how much square feet I have for the roof to cover it, but I want to know how many bundles I need to get. So one bundle of shingles covers 25 square feet. So how many would you need for 540? So you would divide that to figure out. And if you don't see that right away, you could always also set up a proportion. Okay, so for example, you could have done, okay, so one bundle equals 25 square feet. Now, so how many bundles, I don't know, how many bundles will I need, put it over here, if I have 540 square feet. So square feet on top and bottom, and here's all about bundles. And then you would cross multiply. And when you do so, you're going to notice, like I said, all you're doing is really dividing it. But just to show you, when you cross multiply, you get 540 times 1, which is 540. And then we cross here, 25x. So if I want to solve for x, it's being multiplied, you're just dividing by 25. So originally, like I said, you were just going to divide by 25. So when you divide this, you get x is equal to 21.6. Now this is a word problem, so don't just say, okay, 21.6. Let's see if it makes sense. How many bundles should you buy? Are you going to buy 21.6 bundles? That doesn't make sense. So when it comes to stuff like this, you need a little extra, you round up. Even if it wasn't like, if it was 20.6, let's say it was 20.3. You can't buy that much bundles, so always round up because you need more. So just think about that, like in real life when you're buying stuff. So you should buy 22 bundles. And that's the answer. So make sure with word problems, you highlight what's important. Ask yourself, am I using the whole surface area? Because a lot of times when you deal with surface area, you're not using the whole formula sometimes. So make sure you're paying attention to what you need. Okay, next. If a cone has a surface area of 822.78 centimeters squared and a diameter of 18 centimeters, find the slant height of the cone. So now let me go ahead and highlight. It's important to know what shape it is, so it's a cone. The surface area is given. And also notice the units are square, so that's the surface area. It gives me a diameter of 18. And what am I looking for? I need to find the slant height. All right, so let's write our formula out. So the formula for the surface area of a cone, surface area equals pi r squared. This is the area of the base, which is a circle, plus pi r times your slant height. I'm looking for the slant height, so I don't have that. My surface area is given. So instead of having SA, I'm not looking for that. I'm going to have 822.78 pi. My radius, I don't see anything about radius, but I have a diameter. And we know the relationship between a diameter and radius. Half the diameter gives you your radius. So my radius here is just going to give me 9. So it'll be 9 squared plus pi times 9. Now this is good. I don't have a value for my slant height. Why? Because I'm looking for it. So there we go. So let's go ahead. It looks kind of messy. You see all this pi, the L. So let's make it look neater. So I have exponents. I'm going to take care of that first. So you have 81 pi plus 9 pi times my slant height. Now, previously in the other video, I would combine like terms sometimes, but no, because this one has a variable, I can't combine them. So if it looks a little weird, you could go ahead and right away do 81 pi and round to the nearest 100, so that way it's a little easier. So if I do 81 times pi, and I'm going to keep it to the nearest 100, so that way I have more decimals to be more accurate. This is what I get, plus 9 pi, which is now, normally, the way I see it, I would just subtract 81 pi, but if it's getting too confusing, you can always convert them. Alrighty, so now it's easier looking for your variables. So this, where's my variable? What's attached to it? I have the 28.27 and the 254.47. and how are they attached? This is squashed next to it, right? So that's multiplying. And this is positive, so it's being added on. So you always take care of addition or subtraction first. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to subtract. So when I subtract, I get 568.31 equals 28.27 times my slant height. I want to solve for the slant height, so this is being multiplied. You do the opposite on both sides by dividing. So when you get that, your answer will be and I'll round to the nearest hundred, so it'll be 20.10, and then after it was like 2.9, so I'm just gonna stop right there. It just depends what they specify what to round. If they don't, I try to round to the nearest hundred. So now just write your units. So we're all dealing with centimeters, but I'm not squaring it because it's not the surface area. It's just the length. So the length is just going to be like that. So find the slant height. This is your slant height. 20.10 centimeters or 20.1. That's fine also. And last but not least, one more problem. The base of the lampshade is a regular hexagon with the side length of 8 inches and a slant height of 10 inches. Estimate the amount of glass needed to make the lampshade. I read it once. Now the second time I'm going to skim through it and highlight any important information. The base of a lampshade is a regular hexagon. That's important. With side length of 8 inches. Notice they didn't write the number numerically. They wrote it out, the word. So keep an eye out for that. Don't just always look for numbers. That's why you have to read it again. So the length, side length is 8. And the slant height, 10 inches. So we're looking for the amount of glass needed to make the lampshade. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and label the picture that we have. So we know the base is a regular hexagon and the side length, the side of it, of the base is 8. So you could write 8 for any of these sides. So I'll put 8 inches. And the slant height is 10 inches. So anything slanted, that's the height. So doesn't matter, I'll put it right here. Now, it's either a pyramid or a cone. That does not look like a cone. And the main thing is because you don't have a circular base. You have a hexagon, right? So this is a pyramid, and this one is called, because remember, based on your base, that's what you name it. It's called a hexagonal. Oops, I forgot. That's what it's called, FYI. Now, because I know it's a pyramid, I'm going to use my formula for pyramid, the surface area. So it's half of your slant height times the perimeter of your base plus the area of your base. Okay, now we have what we have that's given. We have the slant height is 10. So we have perimeter and base. Before we move forward, ask yourself, do I need the whole surface area? I want to cover this lamp shade with glass. If I'm covering this on top and all the sides, am I covering the bottom? I'm not. What is the bottom? The base. I don't need the area of the base. I need the area of the lateral, which means not the base. So this is the area of the base. So make sure you always have your notes with you, because previously I showed you about that. Okay, so we don't need the area of the base. Only need this part. Because I'm covering everything around it, not the bottom. So I will have half times my slant height times the perimeter of my base. My perimeter of the base. So the base was a hexagon. How many sides does a hexagon have? That's how you'll know. So a hexagon has 6 sides. Each side is going to be 8. So instead of doing 8 plus 8 plus 8 to find the perimeter, just do your 6 times 8. That's it. So for the perimeter, because it's a hexagon, 6 times 8. So it's going to be 48. And now we just multiply and we're going to divide it by 2. And once you do that, your surface area equals to 240 units. Let's see, it was in inches. It's a surface area, so it's squared. So the amount of glass needed, so 240 inches squared of glass is needed to make the lampshade. Okay, and that's how we deal with problem solving with surface area for pyramids and cones.